Today I'm answering a question from one of my newsletter readers, Zari, who wrote in asking, thank you so much for the useful information. I have one question for you. I'm doing a master's. I want to work in management. Problem is that English is my second language and I'm afraid of making a mistake while communicating with others. Sometimes I may not understand in casual conversations, especially when they're making a joke. I'd appreciate your response. So thanks for the question. I feel your situation. I think what's the most important thing really to think about at the start, and this is for anybody who's facing any kind of fear, you can't let fear hold you back. If it's starting a business, if it's learning a new language, if it's doing something that you're uncomfortable with, it's natural to be scared, right? And that gets your adrenaline going, it gets your juices flowing a little bit. It's natural to be scared. But it's doing those things that scare you that allow you to live to your full potential. And if you don't do something because you're afraid of it, you're always going to regret it. You know, you're going to look back and regret not having taken that chance. And people rarely regret the chances that they took. It's the ones that they didn't take because they were too afraid to do it. So I don't want fear to hold you back from doing this. And for anybody who's trying to, start a business or whatever it is that you're afraid of, tackle it. Go through with it so that you're not regretting it later on in life. Now, specific to language, the best way to do it is to practice, and that's for anything too. If you're afraid of starting up. Start up small and just do something every day to move that business forward. If you're trying to learn the language, do something every day to immerse yourself in that culture and that setting so that you're always practicing and practicing. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you get, the better you'll get, the more you'll understand, and the more successful you'll be at whatever you're trying to do. So the easiest way to get over a fear I found is to start small. What I've found is typically when you're afraid of something, it's because it seems too big, too insurmountable, your skill set is nowhere close to where it needs to be. So try to break it down into little pieces. Try to do something really small every day, and suddenly that big, huge mountain that looked really scary isn't so scary anymore because you've already started taking those steps to climb it, and you're a lot more comfortable moving forward on it. So I really don't want the fear to hold you back. You want it to be a counselor. You want fear to guide you a little bit and make sure you're not doing stupid or reckless things, but you don't want it to be a jailer. You don't want it to prevent you from doing things that you really should be doing and allow you to live to your full potential. So I hope that helps. Last thing about the language is it's also increasingly becoming a more global culture. The people that I deal with in my business are from around the world. Everybody has different accents. So many people are English as a second language. So, you got to get used to it. People will be understanding of where you are and will hopefully try to accommodate you. Obviously, the better you can bring up your skills to meet them, it will help you. But I wouldn't be too afraid of what other people think because they're used to dealing with people from different cultures and different languages. At least I am, and that's kind of part of my daily living with running my business.
Everything that you want out of life is on the other side of your biggest fears. You want something more. You know you're capable of something more. You'll come up with a great reason why you can't do that something more, but really, you're just afraid. If you want a breakthrough, if you want that dream life, you need to change the way you think about fear or it will handicap you for the rest of your life. So my biggest fear is disappointing people. I'm afraid that whatever I'm gonna do, I might disappoint somebody, and that keeps me playing small. And so whenever I can recognize it, then I have to go all in and do it just to show myself, because it allows you to play on a bigger stage every time. And that big fear you have is still there. It doesn't go away. You're just capable of slaying a bigger dragon each time. So what used to count as disappointing people, or my fear of disappointing people, might have been going to a coffee meeting and helping an entrepreneur. I remember one time super clearly that I was booking a meeting with an entrepreneur, and I was so worried that I was going to disappoint her that I was hoping that she would cancel. And the story I told myself was, I'm too busy, I got all this stuff to do. The realistic reasons that you can convince yourself, right? They weren't stupid reasons, they were realistic. But deep down was, I'm just afraid. I'm afraid that she's going to show up and I'm not going to give her value. It's a deep fear. And then once I went to go meet her, it was amazing. I remember sitting in my car and saying, wow, like an hour and a half ago, I was hoping that she was going to cancel on me, and this is the greatest thing of all time, right? Your biggest fears prevent you from living the life that you want. And so I'm afraid of disappointing people. Most of the time you can't catch it. I think we play small by default. I think your greatest fear owns you and is giving you tons of logical reasons why you can't do that thing. But whenever you catch it, whenever you do actually catch and say, I think this is just my fear talking, That means it's go time. That means you have to do it just to teach yourself that you're able to conquer it and move to a greater level of success. So how do you actually change your relationship with fear? I'm gonna give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1 is understand that self-confidence comes from doing scary things. Self-confidence, self-love, self-respect comes from doing scary, difficult things. If you're scared of something, right? Your heart's going boom, boom, boom. You're scared of it. You're worried it's not gonna work out. And you catch it. This is the thing. Again, 95% of the time, you'll never catch it. You'll just subconsciously play small. But in the 5% of the time that you actually catch it, if you go off and do it, even if you don't get a result, just trying, just by doing it, you teach yourself that you're awesome. You teach yourself that you don't play small. It's better not to catch it than to catch it and not do it. If you don't catch it, you just keep living life, right? Ignorance is bliss. But when you catch it, it's like, I think I'm just actually afraid of this thing. That's why I'm not following through. And then you don't do it, you're telling yourself you suck. You're telling yourself you're afraid, and when you're afraid, you don't do it. I wanna flip the script. As soon as you catch it, in 5% of the cases, right? You catch it, you have to do it. You have to do it. You have to just go off and do it, because that way you're telling yourself, I'm amazing. I rock. It may not work out, but I'm crushing this fear. Let's go, right? It's a self-signal for self-respect, self-confidence, self-love, all of it comes from doing scary things. You love scary things. You eat scary things for breakfast, because the opposite of doing scary things is doing things that you know how to do, which means you're bored, you're photocopying your life every day, and that's not the life that you want to live. Step number 2 is trust your bold ideas. When you get an idea, trust that it is the right thing for you. When you're feeling bold, and this doesn't happen every day. We don't wake up and say, oh, I'm amazing, happy Thursday, right? It's not how most people wake up. We're tired, we don't have a lot of energy, we're not feeling bold. But you have moments. You have moments in your life where you feel bold, confident, unstoppable. Maybe it was after a meeting, maybe it was after a video, maybe you got inspired, maybe you're on a walk, a meditation. It doesn't matter. You have moments in your life, you know what I'm talking about. You've had moments in your life where you felt inspired, bold. An idea comes to you, it's like, man, if I could do that, it'd be amazing, right? You know what I'm talking about. And then the next day you wake up, say, I can't do that crazy thing. Who am I? I can't do that. I don't have the XYZ, right? The money, connections, time, resources, blah, 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 blah. I can't do that, right? Trust your bold ideas. I believe that the ideas that come to me, that come to you when you're feeling bold, are actually the right ones for you. And then your brain, which is designed to keep you safe and only understands the world that currently exists, your brain starts talking you down from it. And if you wait till the next day, it's over. Then your brain has already taken charge. It's in control again. You're back to being safe, boring, photocopy your life over and over and over again. So trust your bold ideas. When you're feeling bold, an idea comes to you, say, this is right for me. And then take some immediate action towards it. It'll make a huge difference. And then step number 3 is your bucket list is your excuse list. This might be a little more controversial, but I think when people add something to their bucket list, I think it's an excuse list. I think most people die with a bucket list full of ideas. Just because you call it a bucket list doesn't mean it's gonna get done. This is the way you wanna train yourself. As soon as you put something on your bucket list, go do it. Find the smallest possible way and start building it, right? That experience that you want, you could go off and do it and teach yourself that you're the kind of person who comes up with bold ideas and starts immediately taking action. Not in 5 years when I'm XYZ, then I'm gonna do it. That's garbage, that's loser thinking. You might think you're crushing it by having this bucket list of dreams and goals. You're not. You're teaching yourself that you suck. At least I think that. Because you're teaching yourself, you make a list of ideas and then you don't follow through. The best thing, there's a guy who came to my event in Phoenix. He said, well, my goal on my bucket list is I wanna climb Mount Everest. Okay, great, go do it. Even just believing that that's possible in the next year instead of waiting 20 years for that thing to happen, right? Already changes your mindset. You could do it. What do you need? You need money, you need training, you need resources, what? Figure it out. You could figure it out. If that really was so important to you, you could do it in the next year. You could. And if it's not that important to you, why is it on your bucket list in the first place? People die with their bucket list full. Your bucket list is your excuse list. Instead, start making an action list and get to work. If you want to change your life in the next 30 days for free, check out my training right here below. Or if you want to learn to avoid your biggest failures that are yet to come, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy them. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.